Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to today's live. What I'm going to talk about is how to make people happier with your communication by setting expectations. I feel that this is something a lot of people are not doing enough of. And this is something I love, 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 love to do because whether it's with your organization or with your beloved or with your date, or with your children or with your friends, this will make your communication more powerful, will make you more happy, will make more people less uncomfortable and more comfortable, and will really improve your life in so many ways. Setting expectation. Expectation management is one of the keys to happiness. How's that light? I've got a ring light going on in front of me, and uh, that's right. What's up? What's up, Marjorie? How's it going from Alaska? I'm gonna be there June. All right. So, how I got this idea? If you're watching the replay, oh man, it's starting to rain out here in Vegas. It seldom ever rains, so if it rains in Vegas, everybody just is just happy. And so if you're watching the replay, type it in the comments below what the temperature is where you're at right now. I think in Vegas it's going to be around 75 right now. So how I got this idea of creating clarity of communication, because I sat down on my little chair here, the civilly chair, and I have my notepad right here, and so I wrote a little line in the middle right here. And the reason why is because as I'm thinking about what am I going to train today, because I train on something every day. Hey Marjorie, um, what am I going to train today? So I write down little bullet points on what I'm going to talk about. But what I always end up doing, I always end up writing an entire page of notes. And so it ends up becoming a really long training, what I only want like around 5 minute training. And so what started doing was writing in the middle of the line. When I write a line in the middle of the notebook, what tends to happen is I just write the notes that I need. And it's always enough. So without the line, I write a whole page and it's enough. And when I don't write a whole page, I feel like it's not enough. When I write a line in the middle, I only fill the note to half the page. Thanks for the like, Marjorie. I only write a note to half of the page and it's enough. So that got me thinking that applies in communication. That creating boundaries, literally creating boundaries, makes you act, behave in accordance to the boundary. So it reminds me of this thing. People like, people love to know what to expect. Thank you, Amber, for the like. People love to know what to expect. They like to know what to expect. They like boundaries. They like rules. People like rules. So whenever you come into communication with anybody, your child, your family, your friends, organization, your colleagues, and you come to this, you think, I want this, I want to set some boundaries, but I don't know if it might offend them or it might drive them away. Or if you have a client, it might turn them off if I set these boundaries. What you got to think, you got to change your mind into thinking this will make them happy to know what to expect. I'll tell you a story. Um, yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday, I had a client who heard I do hypnotherapy. It's not really hypnotherapy. It's more like neuro-linguistic change work therapy. Um, and so she didn't know what to expect. And so I did executive level communication, leadership communication, as it's called. And it's just literally setting expectations with the person you're talking to. So how do you set expectations? For example, for me, I said, here's what you can expect, right? A very, very step by step detail. What you're going to do is you're going to meet me on this day. We're going to set on June 1st for this example on a Friday. And what we're going to do is we're going to meet and it's going to be a 1 hour session. It's going to be about an hour to an hour and a half. So you can expect that. You can expect an hour to an hour and a half with me, and we're going to go through three phases in the hypnotherapy session. Three phases, and each phase will be more powerful than the latter. And you're going to expect some powerful changes. And here's the kind of changes you're going to expect. You're going to expect some changes in blah, 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 right? Very specific expectation management. And then I set boundaries. So this is what we can't do after this session. We can't do this. We can't do that. We have to have this kind of relationship with each other. The client, we have to go into a separate type of relationship. So anyways, I set the expectation for that. And now the client is thinking, okay, so this is what I can expect. I can become comfortable. And as you're listening to this, you're thinking, okay, I'm becoming more comfortable now that I know what to expect with that session with him. And then you can go into it confident, and then you know what changes you're going to expect. And so what happens is that most people, if you don't set expectations with your kids, with your friends, with your date, with your beloved, with your husband, spouse, wife, with your organization, they're either gonna most of the time they're gonna over expect because everybody's gonna have their wild imagination. They're gonna expect this. They're gonna think, oh my god, I don't know what to expect. Maybe this is gonna happen. Oh my god. So they're gonna expect really, really high. They're gonna have high expectations. So if you manage expectations, and in fact, in business, we like to set low expectations. We set low expectations and we deliver high. So we deliver more value than what they expected. So if I made the expectation, you're gonna feel this kind of change in you, and you're gonna come out really happy and really productive. Come the session, my session, for myself, I set the expectation for myself to make the session really powerful. They become really productive, really happy. So they have low expectations, and after the session, they get really high results. So that's what people do. When you create rules, and I create rules everywhere, because creating rules makes people happy. Now, you probably didn't think about that. You probably thought that creating rules really restricts people. But there are certain rules you can create where when you create those rules, people become happier. People have more freedom when you create rules. Isn't that like the opposite of how people think? When you create rules, you don't create restrictions. Certain rules do, but some rules, when you create them, you create more freedom. For example, example in society, right? Don't steal, don't cheat, don't kill. No, don't murder. Murder is illegal. Don't kill, don't cheat, don't steal. When you can walk into any place, when you know you're not going to be killed, you know you're not going to be stolen from, and you know you feel safe, you feel free, you can express yourself, you can become more free. So these are rules they create so that you can become more free. Do you see? Hey Bree Bree, what's up? So relationship. I just wanted to give you this one more example for relationships. For relationships, I like to always set expectations because people are different. People grow up different. Even your siblings grow up have different moral codes. So I never presume anybody's the same as me, and I have different expectations for my relationships. So when I go into meeting somebody new, or when I go into in a relationship, I like to set expectations so they know what to expect. For example, I'll give you an example. And one thing I will tell you about setting expectations is you have to go out of your way to do it. You have to go out of your way to communicate the expectations, because it's just easy to just say, yeah, let's do this. But it takes more effort for you to be able to say, okay, let's do this. But I want you to expect this because so you become happy and you know what to expect. I would love for you to be able to communicate with me what you like. And I know that I don't know what your experience is in relationships, but whatever it is in your past relationships, but you know how some people have they have big egos and they can't take advice and they can't take direction. Well, don't think that about me. I'd love to know what you like. I'd love to know what you think. And if I'm doing something right, please tell me. And whether verbally or non-verbally. And if I'm doing something wrong, if I'm doing something you don't right, I can't read your mind yet. So I'd be happy if you tell me, if you communicate with me more using your words, using your words, non-verbally or verbally, what you like and what you don't like. I would really be delighted if you did that. So that entire communication, I didn't have to do that. We could have just gone into it. But now that I've set expectations, they can now go, okay, so if I don't like something or something doesn't feel right, I'm comfortable communicating it with Rowan because he just set expectations that I can be free to communicate. Do you see how creating that expectation, creating that boundary, creating that rule has made that person become more free to express their communication? So, to end this, I would encourage you to go out of your way to communicate your expectations. Go out of your way to create boundaries in your relationships with your children, with your organization, with your friends, with your colleagues, your boss. Here's what I want. Here's what I don't want. And you don't have to be brutal about it. You don't have to be obnoxious about it. You could say it nicely, kindly. Um, and the first step to doing that is knowing what you want. You got to know what you want. And the more you know what you want, the more you can be clear with your boundaries. So this is why it's called clarity of communication. The more clarity you have within yourself and what you want. So your goal is to be clear with what you want. And then the better you are at creating expectations, creating boundaries, and communicating it using your words, communicating it clearly. It's your words, right? All right, so that's the training for today. If you are watching this video, again, comment at the bottom of this, comment below this video. Tell me what the temperature is where you're at. If you like this, click the like button, click the heart button, click the smiley face button, leave a GIF, whatever you call it. If you know anybody who would appreciate this video, these ideas, shared with them. I'll talk to you on the next live. Thanks for paying attention.